Are you old enough to have ever watched The Grudge?
That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. Well, I was 8 years old, and that movie takes place in Japan, and I knew it took place in Japan, and I had a massive obsession with Godzilla. They lied to me and said Godzilla was in the movie. I'm like, I haven't seen Godzilla yet in this movie. They're like, oh, there's his tail. I'm like, oh, where? And he wasn't in it. There was days where I was up all night thinking that bitch was going to come out of the bed and grab me.
Welcome to the Random Onion. We're going to watch some scary shit because it's Halloween time.
Yeah, so for this video, we are going to watch some Halloween trailer. We just watched the first trailer for the Exorcist Believer. We didn't really do a reaction video to that one, mainly because it's not the most recent trailer that's come out. The most recent trailer, our official trailer, is the second trailer, so we are going to do a reaction video to that one.
Yes, and as of the recording of this came out 2 weeks ago. Quick history on The Exorcist with either one of us.
If you want to be exercised, please like and subscribe. Continue.
I don't like being exercised. I'm too fat. I actually never watched the original Exorcist movie until just a couple 3 years ago. I actually really liked it. Up until a certain point, which if we ever do a video on that movie, which we probably will eventually.
Yeah, if we ever do a reaction to that movie, then we can get into some more like the really creepy stories that happened behind the scenes of that movie and all that other stuff. Because there are a lot of interesting stories about that movie in general.
Yeah.
I will say this though: the original Exorcist movie, I've never seen it.
You're a youngin' too, so.
Yeah. My dad, however, he's former military, like former Marine, always would say that there is like not many scary movies that would bother him.
Yeah.
Except for that movie.
Yeah.
But my dad is also like a former Catholic, or he is a Catholic.
That movie definitely has a lot of basis in Catholicism and religion and all that, which is a lot of like ghost movies, especially in the West, really rely on like Christian mythology and Christian stuff.
Or they did up until a certain. I mean, they still do somewhat, but it's leaning more and more away from that with some stuff. It feels like.
I kind of like that. Just broaden it out a little bit more to include more stuff, like The Ritual. I'm pretty sure is based in Celtic lore. The movie I want
Norse
to see
mythology.
Or it is
the creature from The Ritual is actually Loki's kid in Norse mythology.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So I really want to watch that movie again. I like that movie a lot. So.
I mean, whenever I watch a lot of horror stuff, I prefer more like science fiction-y horror than religious horror. But yeah. I mean, these movies sometimes they're real scary. I do like the Evil Dead franchise because
that's a series I've never seen anything of. So.
Yeah, those have never been like your traditional like Christian horror demons. Those have always been Sumerian demons. And I even think the Exorcist. I think that one. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, I think Pazuzu isn't exactly a demon from Christian mythology. They just have a Catholic priest come and exorcise it.
Are you old enough to have ever watched The Grudge?
That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Well, if you watched it around the time it came out, you would have been very young.
I was.
Yeah. It's not meant for little kids.
But I got tricked into watching that movie because I was 8 years old, and that movie takes place in Japan, and I knew it took place in Japan, and I had a massive obsession with Godzilla. And
it's not Godzilla.
My cousins, they lied to me and said Godzilla was in the movie, and they made me watch The Grudge. And we're sitting there and we're watching it. I'm like, I haven't seen Godzilla yet in this movie. They're like, oh, there's his tail. I'm like, oh, where? And he wasn't in it. Godzilla. And I had nightmares for months. There was days where I was up all night thinking that bitch was going to come out of the bed and grab me.
I actually the mom in that is scary. But the kid with the cat with the cat voice, that's what really screwed me over.
my favorite though, and it's so messed up now, it would not pass into with today's like audiences, is Scary Movie 4 when they're making fun of The Grudge. The Anna Faris's character walks in, and I didn't notice this because I saw that movie when I was a kid. the little boy grudge is standing on this ledge talking to her, and they're speaking Japanese. Or I thought they were speaking Japanese. I watched the movie again a few years ago.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're like, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Honda.
Haro? Hibachi Benihana Teriyaki.
Nagasaki, Okinawa, Hokkaido, Yokohama. Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi, Subaru.
Karikari Tsunami, Kamikaze Banzai.
Yamaha, Nikon, Casio, Aiwa.
Buddha, Shiitake Kimono.
Tempura, Sushi.
Sashimi. Fujitsu.
And they're just like saying like generic Japanese product names to each other, and then the subtitles are.
I've only ever watched that movie once, and it was in theaters.
Anyways, let's get to the.
Well, what I wanted to say about, because we're talking about like horror from different cultures, is because The Grudge is actually an Americanized version of a Japanese movie.
Yes,
the original movie is called Ju-On, and the CGI and all that, it's very old, so it all that doesn't look good. But that movie is actually really freaking creepy.
Yeah.
The original version, but Japanese ghosts and stuff, all that stuff is creepy as hell. Yeah, if you ever look into
Japanese
it.
Horror movies rarely have happy endings too. They are.
No, yeah.
Especially like Eastern horror is really, really good.
Yeah. Anyways, we just rambled for quite a while, so that's your preamble.
Yeah, welcome to the Random Onion, baby.
We're going to talk about shit. And now, so it's Halloween, so we decided we wanted to watch some spooky stuff. So these trailers come out. I actually didn't even know this movie was a thing until you brought it up when you came over.
Yeah.
So we watched the first one to get more context of it. Now we're going to record ourselves watching the second one so that we can actually give a reaction to it with more context. So
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Don't be scared.
We've met before. Are you looking for me? Are you looking for Reagan? Then burn today!
Wait, did that say Blumhouse?
You did.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I didn't realize Blumhouse had something to do with this either.
Blumhouse does all kinds of horror movies. Some of them are decent. A lot of them are... Anyways.
What do you think evil is? I'll tell you what I think it is. We're born in this world with hope and dreams and a desire to be happy.
Dad?
Something's going on with my daughter.
It's happening to my daughter too. The devil has one wish.
Wherever those girls went, they brought something back with them.
To make us lose faith.
I will say this though, like based on both the trailers that we've seen, the girls that are possessed, they look creepy. Like the makeup effects are really good.
Yeah. They are pretty good. I will say once we get to the end of the trailer, there's one thing I want to point out that I don't like about their makeup though.
Okay.
I believe you can help get our daughters back.
To kill it in us. And the devil never gives up.
She knows who I am. Where's the other girl?
She is waiting for you.
What you're doing here is dangerous. People have died on both sides of possession.
Come on, baby. Come ahead to us, okay?
If you don't make it, I don't make it.
Mama,
What is it?
I can't get you.
I'm right here.
I don't want to go to hell.
Good. Play that trick on you. 13 heartbeats isn't working. They're beating in sync.
Pause it again. Why do they keep cutting to the dogs fighting?
I don't know.
It's all symbolic.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you do? One girl lives, one girl dies. You get to choose.
The flashes in black and white, I think, are probably the creepiest part of these trailers.
Yeah.
I remember the first trailer being a lot more creepy than it ended up being, though.
So, I actually want to point out something. Okay, I'm really sorry to bring this up. It just seems a little too try-hard that she's got the upside-down cross on her forehead.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I mean, it's like, other than that, though, like everything else looks fine.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
you can
watch.
tell everything's kind of swollen.
There was a shot in this trailer somewhere where it had her up close with the upside-down cross on her forehead, and then immediately it jump cuts and the cross is gone. And I know
Probably
it's
two
two
different
different
parts of the
it's
movie,
two different
yeah.
movies, but it's like it looks so much better without the upside-down cross. It really does.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like other than that, the makeup looks really, really good, and the girls look really, really creepy, and it's creepy that there's two of them and they're doing something a little different than they've done in the past movies.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with this is it's another sequel.
It's another sequel. Also, I've watched a lot of things from Blumhouse that I've liked, but a lot of things that I've also hated.
So you
it kind of gives me a lot of caution because it's a Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, Blumhouse is actually a very successful movie company because what they do is they do low budget horror movies. So the budget on a lot of their movies are so low that if they just do $100 or $100 million in the box office, whatever, it's a mind blowing success.
Is Blumhouse the one that made the Conjuring universe
Yes.
with the Nun and Annabelle and all that?
Yes.
Those movies they got terrible.
They did. The first Conjuring wasn't bad. It was okay.
Yeah.
And then they all just kind of went off the rails.
I don't know. I think this looks like it could have potential. It's just, will it execute?
No, we'll see. I'm very, as we said before recording, I'm very, very picky about horror movies, and it's hard to really get me to like a horror movie.
Right.
Which is actually one of the reasons why, if we do a top 10 list, plug, that video is going to come out eventually. It's hard for me to actually think of a top 10 movies, a horror movie specifically, that I would want to put on the list. So I'd really have to think about that. In fact, I'd have to watch a few of them too, which is the other problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already like trying to come up with kind of the rules for our top 10 list, so that should be interesting when it comes out. But I don't think a movie like this would make it anywhere near the top 10 for me.
No. The original Exorcist would for me. I liked it a lot.
See, I've never, and I would like to watch the original one, but I still don't even think that would make the top 10 because our top 10. It's not like, so when we say top 10, it really depends on the phrasing. It's not going to be top 10 best horror movies. It's going to be our top 10 favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
So we'll both individually have a list.
Yes.
But
I wonder if any of them will sync up.
That's going to be interesting too, because I already know that there is a movie in my top 10, or there are two movies in my top 10 that I think might be in yours. So, but I don't want to reveal them yet.
It's a teaser for our eventual videos.
Yeah. And I can drop some teasers for you too.
We're going to start unsubscribing again.
All right. Well, this was our reaction to the Exorcist Believer second trailer. We may go see the movie. We may not. I don't know yet. We definitely probably won't see it its opening weekend.
Probably not. I don't know. As we've said in a lot of these videos, being an adult sucks.
Yeah, we have jobs. But, I mean, it'd be cool to take a day to go to, like, the movie theater and just watch a bunch of horror movies. But
yeah.
We're adults. I have a child. We need a babysitter. So it's like...
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You could take your kid to go see The Exorcist. It'll be like when you watch Ju-On or The Grudge, I should say.
Why does she keep crying? Dominique, shut up.
I used to be able to do it really good. I actually wanted to watch that movie recently, but I couldn't fucking find it. And then they came out with the bullshit remake of it that was awful.
Yeah, I know. You know what's weird though is I watched The Grudge like several years ago, and then I watched it again recently, and I was like, why did this scare me so bad when I was younger? It's not.
It's because you're a kid.
Yeah. And then, did you know that it is based on Ju-on? Did you know that The Ring is based on?
Ringu.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they actually did a crossover.
They did a crossover.
Between The Grudge
I feel like
and The Ring.
I feel like I've heard there was a crossover.
Yeah.
Are you sure that wasn't a Scary Movie pig?
No.
Because I'm pretty.
Scary Movie did The Ring in Scary Movie 3,
Okay.
and then The Grudge in Scary Movie 4.
Okay.
But they did a crossover. It was they didn't call it like a Ju-on versus Ringo. It was their actual like Japanese names.
I'm sorry, that just reminded me of Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, it's funny because in the teaser for the trailer, the Grudge is like squishing the tape with her hand. Anyways,
We've rambled again.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, if you at all find it entertaining to listen to us ramble about a bunch of random stuff, feel free to subscribe to The Random Onion, and we'll bring you more rambling.
and pictures of me.
Yes, apparently that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. On our feed finder.
Tempura, sushi,
Sashimi!